Yo! What's up? Satisfied? Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you, Tom, for the gift. Hello, everybody. It's been a minute. Thank you, Chaotic and Lola. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate it. Whoa, it's DX. All right, you want to talk Halloween for a second? Oh my God, how was your Halloween, everybody? How'd we do? Can I get costumes in the chat? Who you guys dress up as? I need to know. Non-negotiable. Oh wait, I have to resub? I was gonna say Mountain. I was giving you the side eye. Hope you guys get ready for this upcoming week of streams, because there's gonna be a lot of election coverage. Your Cory Wurtenberger comfort streams are gone. Just a day closer to death, tired student. I love the vibes you all bring to chat every day. I appreciate it. Will more costume pics be posted? Yes. We have a lot of pics. There's a whole ass costume that we didn't even showcase. America's Fembot costume. Okay, Hassan, basically. So, just in case anyone hasn't been noticing, thank you, Mountain Doofus, for the Prime. In case anyone hasn't been paying too much attention, America and I went a little bit crazy this Halloween. Guess whose idea this was? Not edited, actually. My boobs just do that. America ate. Excuse me. We both ate as a couple. Cory USA. You guys got to get with time. It's wordy USA now. Thank you, Sarah, for the 11 months. I think this is the one that came out the best, the most, one-to-one. If you don't know, this is the Derek and Claire Us Weekly parody. Let me pull that up. We should have posted it alongside it. So this was the original, in case you guys missed that memo somehow. Living under a rock. So I gotta find the actual right picture. Here it is. This is the original. And this is America and I's rendition. Pretty one-for-one, honestly. A little bit of inside baseball. Not even the same skirt. America's sister did some movie-making magic. It's pretty wild. You post them on your Instagram? I'll make an Instagram post one of these days. So this was it. This is our funny bit. Everyone thought we were done. Thought America was going to get suspended on Twitter for impersonating Pop Bass. Twitter hates fun. On Twitter, you're only allowed to do 3 things these days. Support Donald Trump, be a neo-Nazi, and spread porn. And because America wasn't doing one of those 3 things, she was liable to a ban. But we got away with it. Thank you, T. Pillsbury, for the Prime 11 months. I appreciate you. Having to allow I hate gay hurt me. What was the context? I hate gay Halloween. There you go. So this was pretty good. And then we knocked this one out, which I feel bad even sharing because it's very provocative. Yeah, look, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. The problem with all of these costumes, right, is America gets to choose one of these very attractive women and then dress in, their clothing and look the most attractive person you've ever seen in your life, right? Like, obviously, Taylor and Claire are beautiful, but America obviously is beautiful as well. So it's like, all right. For me, it's like, you're telling me I'm imitating Joseph Abden? That's the assignment? You're telling me I'm going Derek X? Like, it's just not a good gig for me. Like, I think I look good. I'm happy with these pictures, all things considered. But it's not exactly a winning assignment. You did it well. I appreciate it. I'm not fishing here, truly. Like, I'm pretty confident in how I look. But Derek and Joseph are like Abercrombie model, You killed the Memphis impersonation? Oh my god. So then we cooked this one. So a lot going on here. As far as I understand, because a lot of people were confused in their replies to this, thought America and I were making fun of Memphis stomping the shit out of Christmas, which is not what this picture is. We would not do that, obviously. Come on. This is like Memphis and Christmas getting into a bar fight, and there's this person here scrapping with Christmas, and Memphis is stomping them out, and then Memphis is fighting this person too, and this is security. And then this is our version of it. So we got security guard, me, this is America, this is me. Can we see the original picture before the blur? Maybe America will release it one day. And then I look, I'm gonna be very transparent, okay? I got a wee bit drunk, and I tweeted this. I had no recollection of tweeting this. This feels a little violent, no? This feels dark. Stomping the haters out? I don't like the haters. You're not going to hear me defending the haters. I'm not going to be nice to the haters. I'm not stomping the haters out, though. It's a little bit harsh. And because we haven't streamed in a while, you missed all the drama. Because America, on the Cory Patreon, decided to go in there and go in on Tubina by saying a very nice, normal, not controversial, the Instagram relationship post was a little bit like, we were just teasing because it was a funny post, admittedly, I think. Where it was like them going Instagram official and Tucker and Rubina each having their passages. It was very cute. I'm very happy for them, but it was funny. So, America mentioned on the Patreon, and then our paid patrons, whatever. And this was my favorite tweet of the night. It was a reply to my tweet from August 8th, which was Tucker in the AI arena, I think for the first time. And Tubina Warrior, who, look, here. Okay, can we get one thing straight? And this is going to sound like a diss to all of you guys. It's not a diss to you. It's not a diss to Tubina stands. It's not. Neither of you are better than the other. Now, I think you could definitely say, like, oh, that Tubina stuff is not for me. That AmeriCory stuff is not for me. But like, at the end of the day, when it comes to, like, sharing videos of us flirting on camera and posting our Instagram pictures and quote tweeting it, they look so... It's all the same. You know what I mean? It's just like a different flavor of the same food. So, I just want to make that clear, because I have no problem with AmeriCory people not being a big fan of Tubina or vice versa. That's fine. Just don't act superior to each other, because you're the same. That's all. The exact same. You are big Brother fans who love showmances, and you guys have your showmances of choice. So that's all I want to say about that, because I thought that was funny. But it says, this tweet right here just lost you 1 follower, so making you more irrelevant, just FYI, which it is true. It is true. I have not been signed to a Hollywood agent who also represents Molly Shannon. That's true. I can't, deny that. Right? So by certain metrics, I am quite irrelevant. But, I don't think the loss of Tubina Warrior is what cements that irrelevancy. I think I am better than the Tubinas who give death threats for no reason. Brenna, you're better than all the people who give death threats for no reason. So that's congratulations. I agree with you. Thank you, JPR. That tweet that Showman's account. Yeah. I've been shipping BB Couple since Zanky, so I know I'm trash. Oh, Sydney, if you're shipping Zanky, you're the worst. You just lost a 2nd follower. You are now more relevant. I should not read Steel Cage's unsubscribed opinions. After I played Peggle, that's crazy. So, I responded. I said, listen here, Tubina Warrior. I think Tucker and Rubina are literally a perfect match, and I'm rooting for every single non-problematic couple that comes out of BB, because I know how special that bond is. Also, if you want to see the most innocuous comments ever, plug the Patreon. Got like 3 new patrons. 3 of them. That's good. I meant to be sharing it, but here you go. To 214 likes. Honestly, Tubina Warrior's right. She's honestly right. The irrelevancy is hitting like a truck. Which is a little bit... Oh, Martins. Martins, thank you for the gifties. I appreciate you. Reba McIntyre Vivo has been gifted a sub. You love to see that. But I appreciate you. Freaking ads, right? I just wish there was a way to avoid them, frankly. I just wish there was. Boring tweet. Thanks, Brenna. I know you all want me to declare war, but I truly have no beef. I want nothing more than to have beef with somebody, but I don't. Invest in Twitch Turbo for no ads? No, Steel Cage. Invest in the Cory sub for no ads. So, anyways, that was all the Twitter stuff going on. I had to hold America back from tweeting more. So that's it. But we go to Halloween, and let me tell you, it was a long day of taking pictures. We went out to the bar on Broadway, and I sit down at the bar. We're at, like, on Broadway, rooftop. I'm at the bar, sitting in a stool. Oh, my God. Anonymous doing their part in waging the war on ads. Oh, is 6 subs? Anonymous, thank you. Thank you, Anonymous, for the 5 gifted, including Lila. She was an editor before she quit to go edit for Tubina. Honestly, I don't blame you. They're more relevant right now. Lila, I appreciate you, though. 6 gifts. I appreciate you, Anonymous, whoever you are. We need these numbers. Oh. Look at all of you. All you old subs who are now receiving handouts from the masses. Good for you. I'm glad. I get the same amount of money. But I'm glad you don't have to watch ads anymore. And skipping Killiam. Couldn't have written it better myself. But thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate you. Thank you, Wills, for the Prime. 11 months. Anonymous, thank you for gifting Killiam. I wish that could get undone. But it's your prerogative. If you want to give me money with Killiam as your vessel, that is your prerogative. So, no disrespect. No hate. But wait, there's more. No, I'm telling you, someone's popping off today. I appreciate it. But thank you, Anonymous. Again, I'll keep going, but I do appreciate it a lot. And thank you, Wills, for the 11 months. So I'm sitting at the bar, getting drinks, and for the first time in a long time, America is the one who has to, like, limit my drinking, because I was getting drunk. It was Halloween, my first Halloween out. It was actually very embarrassing. America's like, Cory, let's go out to Halloween, like go to a party or something. What's the deal with Nashville? Like, where's the Halloween vibes at? I've never left my dorm on Halloween. Not a single time. Never. I think there was severe damage to my social ability that went down in college, to be honest, at least before Big Brother. I don't realize how isolated I was from the rest of society. Congrats, Colin Cody. I'm glad. So that was kind of the deal. I didn't know where to go, so we ended up just bar hopping on Broadway. And I'm getting drunk, first Halloween out in Nashville. And she starts getting me waters. Now, I'm this weird kind of drunk where I'm very self-aware about where I'm at. I know I'm drunk, but I'm still like, America, really? You're giving me a water? Like, I know I'm drunk, but, like, who cares? Like, I'll get drunk and then I'll pass out the next day. It's fine. So I'm kind of indignant. I'm like, I'm drunk, but I'll be fine. Come on, whatever. And then I decide to go to the bathroom. The bathroom is 1 flight of stairs down. I stood up, and I swear the stairs became like... I gotta look this up. Because this is exactly what it felt like. This is what this shit felt like. It was so bad. And then so that was going up the stairs. I was like, it never ends. And then there was the going down the stairs, which is this is what this felt like. This is me trying to go to the bathroom down the stairs. I'm driving to my boy Gino, so I can't type, but I wanted to know if you're familiar with the Flatbush Zombies. If not, you lose your Floridian card. Well, I've lost my Floridian card, and Quinn has lost his friend card because his options today were hang with his boy Gino or be on stream with me today, and I have now, recognized his decision. So, I apologize to you all. He robbed us of the crossover stream. He also said that anybody who plays Roblox Big Brother is, in his words, or not his words, a modification of his words, a virgin, has never had sex before. So, I think that was less directed at me and more directed towards you all. Well, false. I don't need to know you guys your details, honestly. I'm just the messenger of Quinn's message. I stand on that, yeah. And he'll be here this weekend to play, so. I was texting Quinn, I'm like, yo, Quinn, let's you got any stream ideas? And Quinn sent me like a 18-page PDF of his plans and the venue and the payout and the prize pool. I'm like, Quinn, how about a Brent Steele to start off? Before we start like looking for venture capitalist investors, let's one thing at a time. Hi, Dana, John, Faye, and David. Damn, you're telling me you're hanging out with all your friends, Mom, and you're watching my stream? Wait, what's going on here? He's a visionary? Yeah, he is a visionary. I wish the other visionaries knew he was a visionary, but he is a visionary. On the Big Brother wiki, he does have that qualification, I would imagine. So, before we get into anything else, let's finish the Halloween story. So I'm up and down the stairs. I'm having a lot of trouble conducting myself, but I'm fine. We get home, pass out, wake up maybe 3 p.m. the next day. I go to the gym because I'm a madman. I saw Joseph's abs and I said, I got to start working. Glasses weren't enough. No. Nope. Not at all. So the next day, we're going to a concert. Now, does anybody in chat know what concert I went to? Who's keeping up with the socials? Cyndi Lauper. Okay. Very good. 1 point for Heybub, 1 point for Lexi, 1 point for Jacksonia. Anyone after Jacksonia does not get the point because you are not in the top 3 quickest answer givers. I apologize, you all. Mods, can you give a 5-minute timeout to everybody answering at this point moving forward? So, we went and saw Cyndi Lauper. And because we're Cory in America, we don't have a good time at the Cyndi Lauper concert. Because unfortunately, and this I hope this woman's okay, we don't have any updates, the woman sitting directly next to me was having a very difficult time. I don't know if it was a legitimate medical issue or a legitimate medical issue stemming from, like, drinking way too much. But she was, like, really not in good shape. And this is where I gotta... If there's any Bridgestone Arena employees in chat, look away. America went to get help. Okay, they said they're gonna send someone. 7 minutes later, the woman is still... And, like, we're talking to her, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? She's saying yes. Her handler or whoever's with her says she's okay. But it's so abundantly clear she's not okay. So then I go the second time. I'm like, hey, y'all, she needs help now. She's like, okay, I'm going to call someone. I'm like, okay. Another person goes, same thing. America goes up there and is like, y'all, if you don't get her now, she's going to die. Which, who knows if that's the truth, but it was very serious. And the fact that it wasn't being treated seriously was insane. And that finally, she then actually, the woman actually went and talked to somebody who I guess... theoretically she should have talked to the first time. and they had to vacate our row, and then they had the medical staff come in and take her, I assume, somewhere, you where she could be treated more effectively. And we get back in the row, and there we go. But this is just one side of the story because there's a little bit of a side plot to the story. There's the medical emergency on aisle A. Then there's the low-key medical emergency in aisle America because she's on her third Cutwater. And let me say, America, I think, is very good at, like, she's very independent. Like, it's not like you ever have to carry her home. Like, she knows what she's doing. But I shit you not, when we were walking back to our apartment, she gave the most inspiring kind of like oratory almost, this speech about why Cyndi Lauper was so important to the gay community and other marginalized groups. And then she went through the history of the AIDS epidemic and how celebrities did not deal with that very well. And Cyndi Lauper really was a standout voice. And I'm telling you, she's so drunk. And I'm drunk, but I'm not. I'm really not. I'm basically sober, honestly. I had like one big ass Truly, and that was it. But I'm sitting there, and she's literally giving a TED talk, and then I'm like laughing because it's kind of funny that she's making great points, and I describe it this way, and I'll stand by it. She was talking, the way she was talking, it was like if Shoddy Bay had a really good point, if Shoddy Bay was well researched and had a good message. That was, if I'm trying to paint a picture, I think that's the most effective way of doing it. And I started laughing, and she got mad at me. She's like, Cory, this is no joke. And then she started spitting off statistics of, like, how many people the AIDS epidemic, killed, right? And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not laughing at the content. It's just the delivery along with the setting of us, like, stumbling on the bridge back home. It was crazy. She had the stats, too. My favorite part of the whole thing was she was describing, like, Freddie Mercury, because obviously I don't know if I think he did contract AIDS, and that was ultimately how he passed away. She was like, Freddie Mercury, he was this massive singer at the time. I'm like, I know who Freddie Mercury is. He died of AIDS, yeah. I was like, yeah, I know. But it was like Freddie Mercury, a global superstar. Are we watching I Love New York? Yeah, probably. Yes. So that was the night. We get back, and it was good. We started watching a movie. America immediately fell asleep, and I was like, okay. And we woke up very late again today. I think, hey bub, I remember that was the thing with BB13, if I remember correctly. But it was fun. Good time. And that was the concert. Hayley Williams from Paramore came out for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That was cool. Elle King, who is the singer of X's and O's. X's and O's, O's will haunt me. Dun, 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 dun. She was great. She was the opening act. Very talented. No one was standing for that either. Okay. I need you guys to be objective here. I'm going to run a poll. So here's the context, and I'm going to try to be as straightforward as possible about this. I don't want to sway you guys one way or another, but I know you guys are going to know exactly where America and I, both stand on this issue. So we're sitting in the audience, and it's a lot of older people. Obviously, it's a Cyndi Lauper concert, and America wants to stand up. She wants to stand up. It's a concert. I want to dance. But everyone in our section behind us, everyone, is sitting because it was an older crowd, right? So America's like, stand up. I'm like, I don't want to stand up. I don't want to block other people. Like, if everyone stands up, of course I'll stand up. Or if the people in front of us stand up, and we have to, of course. But, like, the status quo, at least everyone can see. I feel that's better. And America was like, that's lame. It's a concert. Come on. So with that being said, here's the poll. Would you all stand or not stand? Also, Rob Schneider's daughter. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, this crowd, my chat is a don't stand crowd. I get that. And look, when Girls Want to Have Fun and the big hits time after time, everyone was standing up. It was just in these moments where people weren't standing, they weren't standing. Molly's here. Mom, you gotta get us You got to get out of the chat because I can't tell my drunk stories with mom there, with 10-year-old sister there. My sister famously, who once asked me in America if it was legal to drink and walk. To which I said, of course not. But it was a very funny question. Did she sing True Colors? Yes. America was bawling. It was very sweet. That sounds interesting, Tim. I'm sure we'll listen to it at some point. She's not really listening. Okay. Depends on where you walk. That is true. That is true. You have to dive into the context. The final thing I would like to discuss before we get into our top 20 discussion, because I haven't made the list. I just want to talk through the list. And then we're going to do a Google Forms or like a, yeah, so we can see the viewer voted top 20. But there was one interesting thing in the Big Brother Reddit, which I don't post on, but I always, just glance to see if I'm being talked about. And this post came up. Suri, what's the consensus 1 year later? Because I think Big Brother 25, it's almost like a weird season to talk about because there wasn't much good gameplay like throughout long stretches. I think Suri's probably the most interesting person to talk about from the season. Basically saying I think she played a great game. However, she was playing Survivor, not Big Brother. She lost momentum in the second half because of Jared. Jared telling Jag that Matt would use the advantage on him completely decimated her game, and she could never recover it with Jag. People say Heisem was a mistake, but she was fine after that. Two big flaws in her game were Jared and Bowie, and then compares her to Chelsea. So I guess the question is, how good was Suri? And I think the answer, weirdly enough, is like really good, but what makes her game impossible to evaluate was Jared. And the reason why I think I'm probably more critical of Suri's game than most, and Again, for context, I'm not placing myself above Suri. Suri's a better player than me, based on actual game ability and resume of Big Brother. Okay, all right. But I do think, like, ultimately, all the decisions in the game were up to her up until the Izzy vote, and I think she made the wrong decision every single time. Like, Kirsten was Kirsten. Okay, that was good. Riley over Cam was bad. The unforgivable choice. There was no rationale for that decision. Heisem leaving, no rationale for that decision. You're saving Cameron, for God's sake. And yes, Cameron was a bit of a minion, but not like Heisem. So that's two mistakes that just make no sense. And she recovers because she's great. Then it's week 4, Jag over Blue. She was actually kind of pushing for Blue to leave, which would have been unforgivable. And Jared's the one who got them back on track to get rid of Jag, which was the right call. And obviously people criticize her having Matt use the power, but the truth of that is kind of an enigma. No one really knows the truth except for Matt and Suri, and I guess the editors. Then it's week 5, and it's Red versus Jag, and Red is... I don't care if it was to protect Jared. Red was a horrible decision. Suri could have made Red do whatever nomination she wanted. And then week 6, could she have saved Izzy? I think it's kind of hard. I think she did a good job to get Felicia on the block, and then Jared really is most of the reason why that week fell apart. So it's like, ultimately, if we're giving her all the benefit of, like, running the first half of the game, you also have to give her, like, the responsibility of, okay, well, she was the one making the decisions, ultimately. Even if Jared and Izzy were there, she was the one calling the shots. And then her game is kind of hard to evaluate after the Izzy flip because there just wasn't that much for her to do. She did, I think, a fine job. But really, you're evaluating her first half of her game. So I think, like, basically the verdict that I've come to is, like, I think strategically she's bad, and socially she's the best ever. Sounds weird, but like I literally think that's it. I think strategically she's below average, and socially there is not a single person who's better than her. Granted, a lot of people in the house, Jag wasn't a big fan of Suri, neither was Bowie. I think a lot of that was because of her strategic choices. Like, it's not like she socially cast these people off. So I think that is kind of like my verdict on the whole thing, where it's like, I don't think people should try to defend her strategic decisions. Like, I think they're all pretty objectively bad. Putting Jared aside, like, they're just bad. But the fact that she was still in such a dominant position after most of these terrible moves shows how one of a kind she is as a player. You know what I mean? Did you comment on the post? No. I don't think I want to get in the Reddit. Maybe an AMA one day. She could have done better socially with Bowie, for sure. And I think after the, Izzy vote, it all fell apart socially. So I just thought that was interesting. I think that's my verdict, personally speaking. The Reddit loved your Halloween costumes. I'm glad. Okay. So here's what we're going to do for the final Big Brother portion of the stream, okay? We have our... What's happening here? Please, sir. I don't want to shrink the thing. I want to... 1 second. All right, that'll fix it. All right, good. It is my browser zoom, but I was just trying to fix that. I think you're better strategically, but she's better socially. I mean, look, weirdly enough, I think my biggest mistakes in the game were strategic. I mean, physical was my biggest problem, but I think actually, I think I'm strategically a little bit more sound. But I think I left mostly because of the strategic stuff. Socially, I was good enough for Jag to want to keep me over blue, which is, I think, really what I had to do. So here's how we do it, okay? We're trying to come up with a top 20 best games ever, okay? So that's very different from top 20 players. That means Dan has 2 entrants. Nicole has 3. You guys get it. Janelle has 4, which is still crazy. So we're going over candidates right now. And then we're going to do a poll to narrow it down to top 20. Then we're going to do a poll to rank all those top 20. And we'll see what you guys believe are the 20 best games. So, let's start. We're going to go in sequential order and just name all the candidates, okay? So, I think very clearly from Season 2, Dr. Will is a candidate, Nicole is a candidate, and I think that's probably it. Is there any other contentions for Season 2? Anyone want to come out as a Hardy defender? Justin. I don't think Justin's going to be on it. Are there any other real claims from Season 2? Monica? Do you all believe Monica Krista? I just don't see him cracking the top 20. I don't see it. So let's move to Season 3, where, of course, I'll put Lisa there. Shit. I think Lisa could get a spot, and then I think Danielle and Jason are very clearly the next 2. And look, this is just the candidates. This isn't necessarily top 20. We'll vote on the top 20, but I think all 3 of these people have a reasonable argument for it. Marcellus Erasure? Yes, Marcellus Erasure. Monica, Krista, Hardy, Oliver, Nicole. Really? You think so? I'll throw Monica in there. I mean, I know Krista was probably the best player of the time, but she was she had such a terrible path to win that game. Nicole never could have won. I hear that, but I think she did have more of a... Look, the ballot will speak for itself. All right, Big Brother 4. I think it's Allison and June. I struggle to see anybody else who cracks the top 20 or even gets in the conversation of cracking the top 20. I think that is what it is. From Season 5, I'll throw Drew in there. I'll throw Diane in there, but, Diane is... it's hard to judge Diane's games. G was good. Again, is he top 20? I think that's a bit of a waste of time. But I think Drew and Diane are probably the only people you could really argue here. Karen. Yeah, I'll put Karen as well. I think Karen is deserving of this honorable mention, even though I don't think she's going to get rated in the top 20. We can't see anymore. I'll fix that. All right. Now let's go to Season 6. I mean, Maggie. And I'll throw in Janelle. Mileage varies. What the fuck you want to do with that? I'll put April there as well. But you know what? Nokomis. I don't want to put Nokomis on the list. If you guys want Nokomis, I'll put her on. But I think Maggie, Janelle, and April. You know, I know how people feel about Janelle's games, but she's pretty close to potentially winning that season. All Stars, one of the seasons I'm most fresh on. I'm definitely gonna put Boogie. You guys disagree. Will definitely gets there. I would put Janelle. Was very close to winning that season as well. And then, I mean, I'm just debating whether Danielle should be on that list, is my question. I'll throw her on. I think Danielle had a really good season. Too many people on the list. We're going to whittle it down from here, okay? Every choice Janelle made was bad. Yes, but she really got close to winning, you know? It's one of those. I don't think Erica would make it for me. Season 8, I literally think it's just Eric. I don't think there's an argument for anybody else, frankly. I just don't see an argument for anybody else. Jessica, I don't know. Jen, no. Are you Team Turner or Mr. Beast? I'm Team Turner. I love Turner. From season 9, Adam for sure. I mean, I don't think Ryan should really get on there. It's probably just Adam. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to run with this. On season 10, I think I'm going to put Dan and Memphis. I think that's the only real arguments here. From 11, I'm not putting Rennie. Absolutely bad. Absolutely not. I think Memphis is even a stretch for season 10. Are you team Gabe Flop or Mother Tiana? I saw Gabe's tweets about women today, and it was pretty funny. It's like nuts. From season 11, we're going to go Kevin. Do you all think I should put Jordan? Top 3 and Jeff? That's a lot of people for season 11. I think I'd just go Kevin for 11. I don't think there's anyone else. For 12, Hayden. And I'll go Lane. I think these are the two for season 12. Shima Erasure. I don't think Erasure is the word I would go with. I'm not putting the entire brigade there. Absolutely not. I'll throw Enzo on there. I think Enzo's deserving of it. From season 13, I don't think anyone makes the list. I really think there's not a single game in 13 that gets close to making the list. Is that crazy? But Adam does? Yeah, I think so. I think it's fair. Lawan, maybe. Rachel, Kalia. Kalia's a robbed queen. Yeah, but I don't think it's for this conversation. I don't think it's anyone for 13. Dan, 14. I don't know if you want to put Ian. I'll throw Ian in there. You know. I'll put him in there. But, you know, I think that's even a bit of a stretch. On 15, Andy. And I'm almost certain that's it. Brittany on 14. Again, like, you're kind of rating her game instead of, like, how well she could have done. Like, she was doing well on 14, but ultimately she goes out in 8th place, and, like, there wasn't much there. 16, I think Derek, of course. And I don't think you could put Cody there. I don't think it makes sense. From 17, Vanessa and Steve are definitely the only answers you have here. Frankie. Yeah, I'll put Frankie there, sure. I mean, he was definitely the second best player that season. For 18, Nicole is obviously there. And I don't think Paul gets there for 18. Paul will get there for 19. 100%. How do you guys feel about Josh? I don't think Josh gets on there, right? What do y'all think? 20, Tyler, Casey. And then is JC on the list? Does JC get there? JC played a really good game in 20. 21, we'll put Mickey there. Put Cliff there. I mean, you guys are not going to vote Mickey, but he deserves to be on this list. Holly should have won 21. I mean, if you're not able to beat Mickey in the final two and everyone hates him, it's kind of tough. Cliff for 21 and not Brittany for 14. Cliff played such a better game than Brittany. Like, y'all hate Cliff, but like he played a really strong game after he was evicted. Like Tommy for 21. Christy. I don't think Christy. I feel like she was being dragged a little bit towards the end. I'll put Tommy. Sure. I think he's definitely on the bubble though. Why not Donnie on 16? Because he didn't have the chance to do anything, unfortunately. JC for 20. I'm gonna put JC as well. I think he's deserving on this list of people. On 22, it's definitely Cody. I'll throw Nicole on there. I'll throw Enzo on there. I think that's it. Stop saying Cliff's a good... I was very locked into the 21 feeds. It was probably one of the seasons I watched most closely. And I think Cliff has to be here. Tyler almost overthrew Cody before the meltdown. Yeah, well, he didn't. But I think Tyler has too many demerits on him. 23, I think it's Xavier and Tiffany are the only ones. I think that's about it for me. 24, I'll throw Taylor on there, and I don't think anyone else even gets close to the list. For 25, I think Suri, I'll give you guys the option to vote for, and I'll give you guys the option to vote for Matt. You guys are going to get mad, but just don't vote for him then. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee he's not going to get through the next stage, but I don't think anyone else on our cast had the chance to show enough. You? Absolutely not. I don't think I get close to that list. Kyle was close to the list for 10 seconds. Sure. Michael for 24. You guys really think Michael for 24? If we're putting Michael on, I'll go on the list. Shit. Like Derek X, no shot. Maybe next time though. And then for I think it's literally just Chelsea for 26. I think that's literally it. And I think this is our list. So this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 26, 28, 29, 31, 33, 34, 35, 38, 41, 44, 46, 47, 49, 50 exactly is crazy. 50 exactly is crazy. Can you believe that? We kind of nailed that. So now I'm going to sit here and put the people on a Google form. We'll trim this quickly. We talking top 20. I'll play some. I'll play some music. Kai got banned. What'd he do? What did he do? All right. Enjoy the music in the meantime. Wanting who I wanna be. I can't put myself on this list, first of all, because I'm not close to the conversation, but also because you dumbasses would put me in the top 20, and then everyone on Twitter would act like I put myself there, which I basically would be if I put myself on this ballot, because I know how my chat works. I can't believe ChatGPT put me in that challenge game. I wonder if, like, my other ChatGPT searches had my name, so they, like, knew of me. But based on the other people they were asking, kind of makes some sense. Like, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't just picking the biggest names. All right, I'm already on option 17, so I'm zooming through this. Damn, it sucks for season 13. They don't have a single name on the list. That's crazy. I think Portia is one of the examples of like one of the most comically overrated games in retrospect of all time. It's like, come on, y'all. Like, like maybe she deserved to win over Rachel, maybe, but like that wouldn't make her like any better of a player winning that jury vote, you know? I do have a lot of sympathy though for newbies who played against vets. Obviously from personal experience, but like just in general, it's a really tough ask. Especially when there's six vets, half of them are in duos. Like, damn, those they were set up to fail. Especially with the twists like helping the vets. All right, almost done, y'all. Five more to add. Okay, I'm missing one. All right. All right. So we have it ready. I'm limiting it to one response as well. All right, y'all. We're here. We're here. 18-minute deep dive. Okay, all right, wait. Sorry. So I wasn't looking at the chat. Let me dive into what stupid shit. How about Vanderbilt Bowl eligible? I mean, we should be playoff eligible. You forgot Hannah Chada? No, I didn't. She's great, but I don't think her game is in this conversation. The Angela people are insane. Yeah, Angela is like the people who defend Angela's game, there's a fundamental disagreement on what a good Big Brother game is. That's all I'll say about that. Yeah, it was not a deep dive at all. I know there's a couple deep dives in the works, so I hope you guys enjoy them. All right, I'm sending the form currently. I'll fill mine out live. So the form is live. Everyone fill it out once. You put 20 names. You're not ranking them yet. Danielle from season 3 is at the very end of the thing. I just forgot her, so I had to add her at the end. But here we go. So if I'm doing my list, I'm just going to go over the sure things to start. So, like, Will, not a sure thing yet. Nicole, Monica, Lisa, Jason, Allison. June's a sure thing. Drew, I don't know. Diane, Karen. Maggie's a sure thing. April, for me, I think Boogie and Will are sure things. It might sound a little bit wacky, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Eric's a sure thing. Dan's a sure thing. Hayden's a sure thing. Dan's a sure thing. Andy, Derek, Vanessa, Steve. Nicole, Tyler. Cody, Xavier, Tiffany. How many do I have already? These are my locks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Chelsea's a lock, of course. So 18. That's 18 locks, and I only have 2 more spots. It's pretty competitive. Danielle's at the bottom. I'll give that to her. So that's 19. Danielle's at the bottom. I fucked up. She's at the bottom. So that's a top 20. I have one more spot. I think for me that spot is between like Drew. Not really. I don't think it's Drew. I think Lane has a good claim to that spot, but Lane did get a lot of sympathy votes. I think Paul has to get that spot for me. It's Paul or Casey, I think, is really what it's between. I think for me, it does land on Paul. It's just way too dominant. Way too dominant. So I think that would be my list. I'm happy with it. Submit. All right, now let me see these responses. I already got 25 responses. Lane wasn't even supposed to get Brenchell's vote because of a mean joke Enzo made and they thought it was him. Yeah, I do have to keep that in mind. I always think he's one vote away from winning, so it's got to be pretty good, but there always is that caveat. All right, we're going to give it until 10:15 to fill it out. So 6 more minutes. 6 more. It's fair, Dyson. But, it's all for fun. I wouldn't stress too much about it. Hashtag I voted. Who in chat voted? For real, though. Who actually voted? Yeah, you don't gotta pick all 20. You can pick as many responses as you want. I'll start creating the ranking form. Does anybody know the best way of doing the ranking them 1 to 20? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Is it linear scale? Is it... The rating is just 5 stars. That kind of doesn't work as well. 10 stars. I think drop down, but... Twitch chat polls. I think that's the worst way of doing it, Mike. I think you misunderstood. Great Plains Blue Wave, yeah. Any Google Forms wizards in the chat? Isn't there a drag ranking? I've seen people do it, but I've never done it. I'll Google. Okay. Okay, I think I understand. I think I'm cooking here. It says write your query and then click on the 3 dots in the bottom right, select multiple choice grid, and then choose ranking options. See, I'm looking at that, and it's not helping me out. So it's like... So look, I'm doing my rank your top 20, right? And then I've got multiple choice grid, right? And then the 3 dots is down here. And what does this do? It says limit to 1 response per column. Is that it? Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're saying just do a normal multiple choice question with 20 options. No, this doesn't work at all. That was not good. I think I'm stumped, y'all. There's other ways I can do it. Shut up, Tom. There's got to be one person in chat who's competent with Google Forms. I simply must believe it. Choose multiple choice, not grid. Yeah, that's what I did, man. I go multiple choice, right? And then I'm here, and the 3 dots you rant and rave about are here, and it doesn't give me any ranking option. There's no ranking option here. You're saying drop down, then do 20 questions. You can duplicate it 20 times? That seems like a nightmare. So you're saying do this? You're saying do this and then like... Now here's what we're gonna do. I've decided how we're gonna do it. I'm making a definitive. I'm making a definitive choice. I've made my choice. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It is Marina, yes. Okay. Nah, it's making me make an account. I'm not doing that. I've decided how I'm doing it. Don't worry, y'all. I've got it. Well, first of all, let me close the form. We have 75 entries, and now it is time to determine which 20 have made it onto the ballot. Okay. All right, here we go. So, the people moving on to the next stage, let's think about this. Okay, so the highest percent of vote getters is actually Chelsea is the first. Wow. So Chelsea sneaks in, number 1. Chelsea's great, but number 1? Damn. So Chelsea from 26 is definitely in. So after Chelsea, the highest number, 89.3. It's a tie between Dan season 10 and Vanessa season 17. Use straw poll. It did not work, but I appreciate it. When I go to straw poll, I don't know how to add extra options. So just stop sending suggestions, please. Just stop. We've got a way of doing it. We're going to stick to it. After 89.3, the next highest seems to be 88, which is going to be Dan and 14. Okay. After 88, we got some 86s. That's June and 4. And that will be enough. June. Now we go to 82%, I think is the next highest. Looks like it to me. Which is Tyler and 20. Which makes some sense to me. Then we go to 20. So Tyler's an 80, so now we're looking for the high 70s. Or the really low 80s. Nothing in... Oh, Danielle, season 3. She overcomes the weird poll placement. Gotta respect that. Now we're looking at the high 70s. We got 74. We got 78. 78's going to clear. That's Derek in 16. Now we go to Cody. He's going to get there for 22. And this is where it gets a little bit dicier. Are there anyone else in the 70s even? No. That's it for the 70s. Wow. Now we go to the high 60s. The high 60s. Oh, Nicole for 18 is also in the 70s. So the high 60s. We have Andy's at 68. That'll get Andy through. There's another 70s. Let me see. It's Nicole. Cody. I don't think so. Will from 7's going to get there. You guys might not be able to see it, but I could see. Tiffany gets there. So Tiffany is at 69, I think. I think Will from season 2 is going to get there. How many spots do we have left? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're at 14. Anyone else in the 60s? I don't think so. I don't see anybody. 49, 66 for Will. No, we go to the 50s now. And I think Hayden's going to get there. Paul gets there for 19. Anyone else in the 50s jumping out to me? I don't think so. Eric gets very close. So does Maggie. So I think Eric and Maggie make it. I did put Will season 2. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We got room for 2 more. 49% is the number. Can anyone beat Allison's 40% is the question. Steve makes it. Xavier makes it. So Steve and Xavier take the final spots, it looks like. Xavier has 44%. Steve has, yep. Steve and Xavier are the last two. Taylor, I think, is the first person missing the list, unfortunately. All right. There you go. This is your top 20 games of all time. Now, this riveting stream gets even more riveting as I make the next form. But this is going to be much quicker. All right, that is done. All right. So, allow me to describe the mechanism of this poll, okay? Here's how it works. Here is how it works. Every ranking, you're going to be able to rank at each player from 1 star to 10 stars. Now, we all have to make sure we're on the same page of the scale of these rankings, okay? 10 stars is a truly elite game. 1 star is, in my opinion, didn't deserve to be on this list. Okay? That's how it works. A good way of thinking about it is like the top 2 people are like 10 stars. Your 3 and 4 are 9 stars. Your 5 and 6 are 8 stars. You understand? It's like just proportional. There's 20 spots. So each star is like deciphers by 2. But you could do it however you want, really. We're just trying to get a general idea of your thoughts. So I'm sending the link. Enjoy. Let me fill out mine. So we start with Chelsea from 26, who I think is probably right around here. Pretty good. Dan from 10. I think Dan from 10 is actually around here as well. Vanessa obviously wasn't able to close it out. Probably ends up like on the lesser end of this. Dan from 14 obviously wasn't able to seal the deal, but played a really good game. June. I mean, I think June's pretty good. I would say June's like here. Tyler, I would say is very similar to Dan from 14, but I would say even better. Danielle from 3. Yeah, I would say around here. I think she made a lot of endgame mistakes, though. Derek, I mean, it's about as flawless of a game as you could play, unfortunately. But there's, I don't think it was as impressive as some others. Cody's, I think, is right around there, too. I think a couple more flaws, but it was All Stars, but there's pre gaming. I'll put it here. I mean, I think it's hard to find any flaws really with Derek's game, unfortunately. Nicole from 18, definitely one of the weaker games on this, but she was good. Andy is probably around here. I think that's right to me. Will from 7 made a lot of endgame mistakes. I view it very similar to Danielle's game, frankly. Tiffany from 23, hard to evaluate because, of course, there's the dynamics of the cookout, but I think she played a strong one. Will, I just don't hold season 2 to that same standard. Hayden's game was pretty good, but it was not the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Paul, huge flaws, as dominant as any game ever. Eric, hard to evaluate. Maggie played a really strong game, but really could have lost to April. Could have even lost to Janelle. I put it like here. Steve, I would put similarly to Maggie. I know it's a bit of a hot take, but I'm high on Steve's game. And Xavier, I'd put a step below. But he played a very good end game. Everyone wanted to take him to the end. So that's my list. All right, I'm going to give you guys till 10:35 to complete this form. We already have 38 responses. I'm going to tabulate it all separately. I love this song. This was a TikTok thing, right? I didn't know it was Marina. I mean, she does say it in the lyric, but I didn't really know who Marina was at that point. You discovered Marina recently? I did. All right, 2 more minutes to get the forms in. You got 2 more minutes. Hollywood infected. Who's Marina? Marina and the Diamonds. How dare you? My Letterboxd top 4. Catch Me If You Can. Toy Story 3. Dodgeball. That last spot's a bit tough. My vibe right now is Puss in Boots 3, or Puss in Boots 2, rather. 3 when it comes out, to be honest. Exactly what you said in my cameo from March, so good job. Yeah, no, I'm consistent. I have a good memory. One more minute to get your forums in. We got 56 submissions. Good participation, honestly. Good voting rate for the amount of chatters. All right. All right, I'm closing the forum now, and I will tabulate. We're closed at 59 responses. Everyone put your top fours in the chat. I'll grade them in a second. Blazing Saddles, Alien, The Thing, and Vampire in Brooklyn. It's an interesting list. I hate it. But I appreciate your participation. It's a very interesting the way this is shaking out. I'm very confused as to your rationale, but we'll talk about it, and then I'll try to give my theories. Because currently, your rankings don't make any fucking sense to me. But we'll ride with it, you know. What are you going to do? All right, the top 4 have been decided. All right, the top 6 have been decided. Switching all the results because he doesn't like them. No, I'll show you guys the actual results, but I would prefer it to not be anticlimactic by just like showing you one chart. You know what I mean? All right. Top 9 are done. I'm getting into my groove a little bit. There's one particular rating that irks me more than the rest of them, okay? That's what I'll say. And I'm gonna bring you guys to task about it, okay? I know Cory hates the People's Choice Awards. Yeah, look, experts are experts, and they're experts for a reason, okay? Oh my god, I'm so locked in. I think the no stash is the way to go. I think I'm going to go no stash for a long time. I think it's better, unfortunately. I fear. All right. We're at the final five, y'all. The final five. I'm sorry it's taking so long. There was actually a much better way for me to do this, and I opted out, so this is on me. A Subway Surfers video. Honestly, it'd be pretty good. All right. I think we're just about there. All right. We got it. All right, y'all. Are you guys ready for the official ranking after 9 hours of work? Oh my god. Well, we're going to dive straight in, okay? So, coming in at number... Well, let me make sure it's not going to share the wrong thing. Okay. Coming in at the number 20 best game of all time is Maggie. You guys know 19 too, but anyways. It's Maggie. It's Maggie. Now, Maggie placed in 20th place with a relatively strong ranking of 5.17 stars. So, still above 5. You guys didn't give anyone below average. So 5 stars, not bad. But because it's spoiled, I'm not going to build the suspense. I do think when it comes to Maggie, I think it's a little, I think her game is a little bit overrated because she obviously could have been knocked out by Janelle pretty easily at 3. April would have beaten her in the final 2 had she gotten there. So, there's a lot of ways this game could have gone wrong, but I do think she was the best player from that season. But I don't think PB6 was exactly the holy grail of strategic gameplay. Obviously, getting Howie to target James is good. But so at 19, of course, we have Eric Stein, who I think is the second worst placement on this list. I believe Tiffany getting 6th is the worst, but Eric, I think, gets 5th. And he has a ranking of 5.37, you know, 0.2 above Maggie. I think Eric's game is probably top 10 easily, if not for America's favorite player. He wins that season, and it's one of the more dominant wins ever, but unfortunately, we were kind of robbed of seeing that, so, yeah, this is where Eric falls. Did you just spoil more? No? So it's kind of tough for Eric. But that takes us to number 18. Who's Xavier? What do you mean? Yeah, we know Tiffany's on the list, top 20, but we don't know where she is. Xavier at top 20, or number 18, our ranking of 5.54. So just, you know, a couple, you know, tenths above Eric. I would say Eric played a better game than Xavier. I think what Xavier did the best was at his end game. He had Kylan wanting to take him for no reason, and Ozzo was going to take him and lose, and Derek F was going to take him and lose. So, like, good on him for getting that perfect end game from the cookout, but I do think he benefited a lot from the legwork, especially Tiffany put in. So I think 18th is about right. Not to mention, what a handsome guy. Which takes us to number 17 on the list, which is Hayden. Now, Hayden, I think, is one of the first rankings here at 5.68. Again, just a hair above Xavier. Feels like Hayden's a bit underrated here. I don't know how you judge his game ability necessarily from this season. It's kind of hard to say. Obviously, on Survivor, he showed he is a good game player. But it's a pretty dominant win. Like, there's really not much to criticize with Hayden. It was just kind of... It seemed a little bit easy the way he won. Just, you know, made the brigade and game over. But he was very clearly going to beat everyone in the brigade, and he was the guy to beat the whole game. Won a shit ton of competitions. Was good socially, good strategically. I think he's just about, you know, as underrated as anyone on this list. So then we go to number 16. We got Steve. So I am glad Steve was rated over Hayden. I disagree, but it was a 5.88. I think for this type of game where you're really not a dominant player at all, you're just doing the best you can, I think Steve has done it as well as anyone ever could. Obviously, people placed Vanessa over him, which is fair. But I think Steve played a really good game. One of the most self-aware winners of all time, knew what he had to do, knew how to execute, knew how to make really hard decisions, like keeping the Oz twins at that double eviction, getting rid of Meg. Like, it's a really dicey decision. I think people didn't like it at the time, but it was the right call, and he made it. Love Steve, but anyone who had to win Final HOH to win goes down in my book. Well, there's not that many winners who didn't have to win it, right? Like, Steve, at least we've seen so many people win the Final HOH and make the wrong call. He won the Final HOH and made the right call. He put himself in a position to win, so good on Steve. Number 16. We're still in the 5-star range. So now we're at the top 15. This is a bit of a divide. The top 15 games in Big Brother history. Dr. Will Season 2, I must say, criminally overrated for me. 6.03. This finally crosses the 6-star threshold. I think this is overrated. I don't think Will Season 2 deserves to be higher than any of the games that we've ranked so far. You know, maybe you could say he should be ranked over maybe Maggie. I don't know. I'm a Dr. Will Season 2 skeptic. It's not really a testament to him. It's just the game was different. He set the blueprint. If you want to give him credit for that, it's fair enough. I think you give him a lot of credit for coming up with the strategy out of the blue. He didn't have anyone to copy, so I think that in and of itself is impressive. So if that's what gives him a higher ranking, I do understand. He just wasn't really in a decision-making position for most of it. You know, he's lucky Nicole was such a terrible, you know, jury prospect. Which takes us to number 14, where you have Nicole from BB18. I think this is about right for Nicole. 6.1 instead of 6.08, so barely above Will from Season 2. But she never was playing a dominant game. She just maneuvered well. She was in the bottom sometimes, was able to fight her way back up. This is like a very diet Chelsea game. It's much worse than Chelsea's game, to be clear, but like just kind of navigated well. Definitely less dominant towards the end, but her whole power structure fell apart. She's at the bottom with Cory and Paulie, and she's able to figure that out. She's obviously a vet going against a ton of newbies, which I think is a fair point to criticize her on, but ultimately, pretty good showing from Nicole on BB18. I think it's a very, very solid winning game. Takes us to number 13. We have Tiffany. The worst ranking placement-wise on this list. She's at 6.2, so just a tenth above Nicole. And I think it's hard to judge Tiffany's game because I think her gameplay is more impressive than her resume on the season because, of course, she does get 6th place. She puts herself in that end game with the cookout where it's really not super winnable, but there's the extenuating circumstances of we know why she did that. And I think hopefully most of us can respect that. So I don't think we penalize her as much for setting up Xavier's win. And obviously, even with that endgame in the cookout, a couple of competitions go a different way. She could win anyways. So I don't hate this ranking. I think I'd drop her a little bit, but it's a very weird one to evaluate. Very, very weird one to evaluate. Which then goes to number 12, which is Paul. It's a weird game. So 6.24. The gap between Paul at 12 and Nicole at 14 is 0.14. So 0.04 above Tiffany is Paul. It's weird. I think this could be the most dominant game a Big Brother ever played. Like, Paul had a chokehold on the game like no one else ever has. But of course, the jury management was legitimately a problem. It was messy. Also, Paul had more advantages going into the season than just about anybody. Obviously, a solo vet against a ton of newbies, plus friendship bracelets, plus the pendant of protection. There was just a lot going for Paul. And obviously, it was not the strongest cast. Then losing to Josh, it makes it tough. So I think 12 is about right. Maybe I'd go a little bit higher, but not much higher. I think 12 is about right, actually. Now, this last person, unfortunately, dodges the top 10, the gatekeeper to the top 10, if it will. Any guesses for number 11? Who's going to be the last person left out of the top 10? Any Preds? Cam predicts Cody. Andy's here. Cody. Chelsea. Derek. All right, well, at number 11 is Cody, the lowest res picture I could find. Look, I think this is criminally underrating Cody. I think everyone holds the pre-gaming against him, which I totally understand. Everyone did have the opportunity to pre-game, and everyone, for the most part, did pre-game. And he played a very dominant game. And, of course, Tyler was kind of usurping his position, but then Tyler imploded, and Cody was never in danger, never touched the block, won unanimously. It's kind of hard to... He won like 4 HOHs, and like 4 vetoes. I think this is a severe underrating of Cody, but, you know, I'm not surprised. And it was also, in my opinion, the strongest cast in Big Brother history. Like, clearly the strongest cast in Big Brother history. So, like, I think that not nullifies, but pushes against the, the pre-gaming stuff. And kind of balances itself out. But Cody from BB22. So, Paul was 6.24, remember. Cody was 6.47, so a bit of a jump. Almost to 6.5 stars. But that's where Cody is, number 11. Now we start into the top 10. It's where it's getting serious. And we have Dr. Will from BB7. I think Will gets the benefit of playing against an incredibly difficult cast, a smart cast. He kind of ran circles around all of them. Of course, the problem is he went out due to his own mistakes where he could have won the game. Unlike a lot of these players before him, he made a game-losing mistake a few times. And I understand there's the dynamic of him not hooking up with Janelle, which was the main reason Janelle was anti-Will. If you're top 10 of all time, I think you gotta figure it out. Also, there's the question of was he trying to beat Boogie? Was he trying to win himself? It's a little bit hard, but against this cast, he really did just ball out. So I don't have any problem with this ranking personally. Will at 7. I drop him a bit, but not too much. And he's a great showman. He also didn't give a shit in 7. Yeah, he was trying to quit for a while, too. Like, I don't know. I think this is overrating Will, but he's got a legacy. 2 top 20 games for Will is pretty impressive. And then we go to number 9, which is Tyler from BB20. 6.88, so a big jump. Almost at 7 stars. I think Tyler's being underrated here. I think his game in BB20 was pretty ridiculous. Just so dominant. Ultimately, what I think is fair about this ranking is he chose the wrong endgame. Him throwing the Final Four veto is a disaster decision, and it really set himself up to lose that game to Casey. Whether or not he even beats JC is an interesting question. Was he locked out of winning at the Final 3? So, like, I understand this ranking. He fucked up. His game was perfect. It wasn't perfect. He screwed up at the Final 4. Could he have even beaten Casey? I don't know. Probably not. Casey was great. But yet he had all these Final 2s. He had a Final 2 with Scotty, with Sam, with Angela, with JC, with Brett, with Casey. And he chose the wrong ones to go to the end with. And that's why he lost. So I don't blame the jury management stuff as much. I think people overstate how bad his jury management was. But he didn't do a great job, getting to the end with the right pieces. So that puts Tyler at number 9. Number 8 is June. I would say June's game is a bit of a blind spot for me. Generally, by the way, it's 6.9 versus 6.88, June and Tyler. So June just clears Tyler. It's a bit of a blind spot. I actually rate June's game quite a bit lower than Cody's, than Tyler's. And the reason for that is she really was not doing well jury-wise. She needed to get to the end with Angela exactly, and she did, so she was able to win. She, again, kind of like paved the way for a certain kind of strategy, but BB4 was not the strongest cast by any means. I think a lot of her game success should be split with Allison. Allison was doing a ton. And I think ultimately her jury management just wasn't... Did I say Angela? You know what I meant. Her jury management just wasn't up to snuff, but she got to the end with the right person. So I do think June is overrated here. But again, I think overrating the Trailblazers makes a little bit of sense. So that's number 8. We go on to number 7. Wow. Derek Lavasser. At number 7, he breaks the 7 stars at 7.02 stars. I will say, what's interesting about Derek's ranking, and this is the same thing about Cody's ranking. So, Cody's ranking had more 8, 9s, and 10s, as did Derek, than almost everyone in front of him. But Derek had a lot of 1 stars, as did Cody. A lot of people who are big haters dragged down some of these house guests. So really what this ranking system is ranking is, how do you guys think these guys' games stack up? Plus, is your game generally liked? So that is why a Derek and a Cody are ranking much lower than some other people will talk about. Derek, I think, played a perfect game. I wasn't the biggest fan of him lying in the DRs, and I think it was a very easy game, frankly. He just gathered up all the comp piece and won. But I really like him getting Cody to take him to the end. I think the pact with Victoria was genius, making sure no one would cut him. He got rid of everybody in the correct order. Did that happen with Tyler? Let me see. So Tyler from 20, not as much, no. Tyler had more middle of the pack rankings. I'll show you guys the actual charts after. But Derek at 7, I think this is definitely underrating Derek. I think you could argue he's one of the 2 best winning games ever. But, At number 6, we have Danielle Reyes. Oh, spoilers. Danielle Reyes. Where does she rank? 7.2. I know, you guys are going to see. We're going to do a poll about it. Danielle Reyes from Season 3 has a 7.2 ranking. I think this is way too high for Danielle. Because, again, much like Tyler, much like Paul, She made decisions in the end game that lost her the game. Could she have beaten Jason or Marcellus or Amy? I don't know. I think she could have beaten Amy, but she made a lot of decisions that led to her losing to Lisa. So that's a little bit tough for Danielle. But, again, a trailblazer. No one did it like her to that point. And I don't hate overrating Danny's game. Which leads us to and I would say, Danielle had 2 people give her a 1. 2 people. Whereas I think Derek had 10. So, that's how it goes. Jury seeing DRs ruined her. Yes, but that was part of the format. So I don't, that was on her, I guess. At number 4, we have a tie between, you can't really see him, he's cut off, but it's Dan and Andy. So it's Dan from season 14 and Andy from season 15. I don't think there's really a comparison between these two. I will say I think Andy's rankings got dragged down by, actually not that much. Got a lot of 10s. And then Dan from 14 had more people dragging him down, actually. So I guess the question for me is, I'm going to run a poll. Who do you all have? Who is better? Dan, and remember, we're only ranking Dan's BB 14 game versus, of course, Andy's only game, season 15. I'm confused who is above them. Me too. Let me tell you. It's a pretty close vote. 58% saying Dan. I would very strongly say Andy. Because ultimately, while I think Dan, I don't blame him that much for losing that jury vote. I think he was in a really tough spot no matter what. I think he let himself get into vulnerable of a position with, Frank and needing to do Dan's funeral. Him able to execute it was awesome, but, he put himself in a really vulnerable position before the coach's twist even ended, and he kind of had to dig up from the bottom. And then, in order to do that, he had to burn so many bridges, which I think cost him the game. But Dan is going to be ranked number 3, or number 4. Andy's number 5. Is where we rank. So Andy 5, Dan 4. Both of them had a ranking of 7.41. So almost at 7.5 stars. Which takes us to number 3, which you all have Chelsea. Very high on Chelsea. Chelsea is 0.03 above Dan and Andy. And I think this is too high. But I don't think it's that I don't think it's crazy too high. I think I would have her game probably around the 5th best instead of the 3rd best, 5th or 6th best. So, I don't think this is crazy. Obviously, some recency bias. No one really tanked Chelsea's score. She had a couple 1 stars, but not too many. But that's it. Do you value facing adversity as a plus based on how they got out of it, or a minus because they were in it in the first place? It's all a rich tapestry. I think in Chelsea's case, her being able to overcome the adversity was impressive, but I think she's the one who put herself in most of that adversity. She's the one who allowed her power structure to crumble, the Pentagon to crumble. So I think that is, she had a majority of 8s, or a plurality of votes were giving her 8s, which I think is about fair. But, there are players like Taylor who I think had to overcome a lot of adversity where she didn't really cause much of the adversity. She was kind of screwed from the start. So I don't hold that against her as much. But that moves us on to number 2, which is obviously inherently going to reveal number 1. You guys have Vanessa at number 2, and I will tell you what, I think this is the most asinine ranking of the day. I will say she had 0 1s, 0 2s, 0 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s. So she just rode a lot of good rankings, but she did not play a winning game. She put herself in a 50-50 in the final 3. She lost the 50-50, which, her game isn't that different whether she wins or loses. It was a 50-50 ultimately. But this is very high. It's very, very high for Vanessa. She also played like a maniac. She was very similar to Suri. She made the better strategic decisions, but socially she was worse. I think I would have Vanessa at like number 12 on my list. But you guys kind of popped off with this one. And then number 1. So just to be clear, Vanessa averaged a 7.8. Dan averaged on season 10 an 8.34. So over half a star lead for Dan. Like, kind of ridiculously not competitive here. So Dan has the first best game and the fourth best game, which I think makes it very clear y'all think Dan is the GOAT. I'll show you guys the quick charts here. So we start off with Chelsea. Let me go ahead and just do this way. So Chelsea was a 7.4. Again, like just very top-heavy rankings here. She just was doing pretty well the whole time. Oh, I know why this whole thing has been bugging out all day. It's because I had to edit the thing for Flavor of Love, huh? But anyways, Chelsea, 7.4, a lot of high rankings. Dan's 10 game, not that many haters, and 26 10s. This is not close. Vanessa just rode the high rankings. This is really why she placed as highly as she did. Dan has some haters, but a lot of 10s still. People love Dan. June, just 7s. Tyler, good amount of haters, 5 1s. Danielle, the 10s for Danielle are a little bit baffling for me. Derek has 8 1-star people. That seems a little bit harsh for me. Cody, again, just getting hurt by these 9 1-star placements. Nicole, kind of middle everything. Andy, kind of a weird set of rankings. Will, similar. Tiffany, everyone just agrees was mid, which, mid for the top 20 is still really good. This is my favorite. Nothing had more than 10 votes. Will. It was a very polarizing one. Just all over the place. Hayden, a little bit similar. A lot of 1-stars, though. It looks like there was the 1-star brigade that I think just gave their faves 10s and their least favorite 1s, which, it's Big Brother fans. It's representative for the most part. Paul. Eric. Maggie's got a lot of 1-stars and 2-stars, which I found a little bit surprising. I don't know why there's that many Maggie shooters. Steve, middle of the pack. X. Most people put him at 5, which I thought was pretty funny. Should have tossed out the 1 votes. I was doing enough math. And I'm sorry, no flavor. No, I love New York. I'm sorry. For those sticking around for it, I'm sorry. Look. I know you guys are you're going to hate me, but this stream went longer than I thought it was going to be. It's 2 hours. 2 hours. I can't do 3 hours. America and Jacob are out there. Y'all have lives too, I think, right? Look, the way I love New York works is whenever a stream's too short, we're going to watch it, okay? It's funny, though, because this list is so different. I'm thinking of tweeting this and just saying, like, my chat voted on the top 20 games of all time and just starting discourse. I think it'd be fun. Mr. Boston will return, yes. Say it's your top 20? You think so? So, that'll do it. Long stream. A fun stream, though. I think with how, like, everything's going, like, obviously viewership's down because it's not Big Brother season. I think I'm going to start experimenting a bit more. I think I might start playing some more games. I was thinking of maybe just starting a Minecraft world. I haven't done one in 5 years, and just playing, chilling, chatting. Just see what the vibe is. There has been an idea floating around of like a reality TV SMP. So I'll keep you guys. I've been talking to some people. I've been talking with Quinn. We'll cook something up. Dress to Impress. Yeah, I'll do Dress to Impress probably with America one day. So I'm just gonna start experimenting with some things. Ultimately, for me, it's less about I gotta make sure I like streaming still. That's my main thing. Gotta make sure I'm doing stuff that I enjoy, because otherwise, there's very little motivation for me to stream. Because I do feel like the people who are still watching are gonna watch anyways, no matter what. I will be doing a like all day long election stream. I think we'll do the day before the election as well, November 5th and 6th. I'll be doing like 5-6 hour streams. I just think that'll be fun, because I'm going to be watching it anyways, so I think that'd be fun. Vaudeville, yeah, maybe vaudeville, it'd be fun. Are you going to be doing the reality stars for Harris thing? I can't, unfortunately. We're busy tomorrow, but I'll be watching it. Please support. Taylor's running a reality TV stars for Harris like show with a lot of reality TV people, so support. Also, go out and vote, y'all. I'll be here before election day, but make sure to run it. He doesn't believe in it, sadly. Yeah. I'll be on a media blackout. Good for you, Thief Juice. Okay, are any of the homies live? Is Brando live? Is Cedric live? Is any friends chilling? I don't see anybody. Tom, why are you setting yourself up? Here's what I'll say. I think everyone should vote for Harris. If you don't vote for Harris, I do slightly think less of you. That's my stance. That's my stance. That is truly my stance. I know everyone has their own circumstances of like how you were raised, but that's my stance. But I'll leave before we get in deeper than that. I appreciate you.